As we are live. Okay. Hey. Hey people, good evening everyone. So all of you who can see us, right? We are back. And this time this is not related to technology. This is not related to any specific recruitment as such. This time the thing is going to be pretty different and it is going to be equally amazing. Okay, so just give me a sec. Let me admit few people and we will just go ahead with the meeting. Okay. So here we go. So people, just to give you some background about this particular meeting, we have invited Tushil, Mr. Tushil and his team here. And what we are going to now, we will be discussing some important things about how a language, how the usage of language can enhance you or help you reach to the next level of your life and how impactful it can be. Okay, so that is what we will be discussing today. So let me tell you about who Mr. Tushil is. Okay, so he has 15 years of experience in an industry. This experience consists of both corporate as well as entrepreneurship. Along with that, he is director of a language school. He is director of a language school and he has been running this particular initiative from last 10 years. So this thing is really amazing. So what we will be learning or what we'll be listening here is that it would really help us people. So I want all of you to be very attentive. And to add to more to this, he did his graduation or degree in or masters uh, in a specific field with an expertise in SAP, and then he moved on and he has achieved so much in life. So we have his entire team here with us in the call. So welcome Tushil. First of all, I would like to welcome you, Mr. Tushil. So welcome to the
Thank you
call.
so much. Thank
And
you so
it's a
much.
privilege. It's so privilege to have you here, and I'm sure that the people who will listen you would really like this. And if they put this particular knowledge in their practice, then I'm sure that they will see the difference there as well. So
That's good.
yeah. So tell us, Tushil, something about you or what you would like exactly us to know about. How did it start and what are you currently doing? The initiative that you are doing from last 10 years. It really seems to be amazing. And the journey, Tushil, the journey, the important part about the journey as well, right? You started with an expertise in SAP. That is what it is, right? You can tell us something about yourself, Tushil, and how it started and how it's going on. Something about that?
Okay, great. Hello, everybody. A very good evening to all of you. Talking about myself, basically, I am a management graduate in finance. A lot of expertise I did in SAP. But through my school days and across my college days, I always wanted to get into business. So basically, business was my blood altogether, always. And eventually it happened to be that I got into motivational speaking. I used to give lectures to management graduates. I used to give entrepreneurship lectures to all the various kinds of students from the various streams. And then eventually what happened is I realized that in the market there's a lot of problem people face because of languages. What happens is, what parents do is, parents focus only on graduations and post graduations. In India, basically people are interested only in getting a job. They don't want a good job. A good job or a good business or a good career is made when you have your basic education as well as when you have extracurricular skills within you. Now, what are these skills? Out of them is having languages with you, being good in some disturbance.
I muted him. I muted him. You can proceed. You can
Ah,
proceed.
So that's how I came across to this concept of languages. But frankly speaking, initially when I thought about it, one prominent language which I thought was that was important to be taken to people was English. Because in the market, if you see, maximum people are not good in communicating English correctly. People somehow they speak WhatsApp language, which is very incomplete language, but they're not good grammatically, and that is why they lack in writing emails, professional emails, even business communications. So that's how this English came into my mind. And after starting with English, I got a scope to see that a lot of foreign languages apart from English, like German, Japanese, French, Spanish, these languages have a very good scope for Indian students and people, those who are here in India, those who want to expand their businesses. And that's how I started the language school. Okay, so in that also I had an obstacle wherein we were searching for a good name for the concept. And when we went into purchase the domain name and all, so we wanted something which was connected to all the languages. And that's how we searched for a domain for the language school, wherein we were not getting the domain which was the language school, SCHOOL.
Yeah.
And that is why we had to shift it to SKOOL. That's how it became the language school. So all these things happened, and then today we are standing tall, wherein we are giving services across all the languages, be it regional languages, be it any foreign language. Like as I told you, as into academics, people look for German, Japanese, and French. These are the 4 languages basically students look up to. But then because of globalization, there's a lot of business coming in and outgoing in India. So that's why languages like Chinese, Japanese, even Mandarin, even Korean language, Portuguese, Polish, Dutch, a lot of languages have gained a very good scope in for Indian businesses and Indian students. So that's how we are here in the language school.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hey, that's really good, Tushil. So overall, it has been a great experience. So you started a journey and you had a liking towards a particular field, and ultimately you took that particular passion as and what you are currently doing. It is reaching far and wide. So it is something really amazing, Tushil. So the value which you have shared now, it is like the importance of having good language, knowing good language, importance of pronunciations, or importance of communication. That thing is really right, actually. I myself is an HR professional, Tushil. We didn't meet anytime before this, but I have worked for MNCs for more than 12 years. Okay, that is how I started. So I completely agree with you about what you said about the email writing skills, the etiquettes and greetings, salutations. Few people, they miss this basic stuff. And what happens is that these small things, they make a big change. For say, writing email skills, or if we are in a meeting room, how to present ourselves and how should you raise your question. These things are very basic and people miss them. So good point, Tushil. What you are doing related to this is really very good. And various languages, Tushil, I want to know. Okay, I want to know one thing. When I was working, right, when I was working with Cognizant, if I'm not wrong, they used to get various requirements. In that particular requirements, I have seen many a times that German language used to be there as a mandate. So, if you can just let us know, I don't know, I'm not a techie guy to speak truth. Is it a development thing or is it actually a language that people talk on, and why is it mandatory?
Okay, that's great. See, if you were talking, this question basically enhances or would focus on German language, because your question was connected to German language. I would like to talk about German language first. See, basically, when it comes to German language, the German technology is a widespread technology. Okay, like for example, if you take the automobile industry in India, if you pin down the topmost auto brands, like starting from BMW, Audi, even Benz, Volkswagen, Skoda is taken over by Volkswagen. These are all German technologies. So now what has happened is a lot of business has come up here in India. Like start not only automobile industry, but then engineering, even medicines. We have a lot of students, those who do MBBS here in India, and then they go abroad to do the MS in Germany to learn medical sciences on a further study to do their MD. We have MD here, but then in Germany, they outside they called MS. So that is why a lot of German technology and German research is flowing across. There's a lot of demand of German language. Okay, because what happens is when there is a kind of technology running across the globe, people of those countries are on the higher management and a lot of areas in that company. So you need German in that context, and that is why there's a lot of flow of German language wherever you go, in corporates or even in the academics as well. If you see in academics, there are the German language is compulsory in CBSE, ICC boards right from fourth standard or fifth standard, because there's a lot of scope for German language.
Got it, got it. So
Yeah.
so I was good for clarifying this. Yeah, you can proceed. You're saying something more. Yeah, Tushar.
You
Tushil.
want me to talk about other languages as well, or you're going to take it ahead later on?
We'll take it ahead. We'll take it ahead later on. So the people, right? So two things here, okay? Two things here. So if we talk about this particular languages, right? If we talk about German language, I have myself have seen the requirements flowing in MNCs. So now I understood now that is how it works. This particular MNCs, right? They are divided in verticals and horizontal that we call laterals. If we talk about verticals, there are like a banking and sector domain and um, uh, telecommunication domain. Then, as Tushil just said, it is something into automobile the sector as well. So, company they bifurcate their verticals on the basis of this particular thing. Okay, so if there is an automobile domain, as Tushil has rightly said now, the most of the automobile company, the standard that is known, the Germany is known for running, is really amazing, and it is there everywhere. So by knowing this particular language, that is German language, gives you an upper hand, right? It gives you an upper hand to get into a particular project wherein you are required to work with a German client. So this is something people I thought of putting it in this manner as well, so that the people who are there exploring jobs, they can just look at it. Okay, they can just look at it. They can be with us in this particular session and see where what can they best fit in. So yeah, Tushil, tell me, you are saying something.
Okay. I wanted to add up some scope, since because we were talking about German language. I wanted to add up some scope if anybody is learning German language. See, it's not only about getting a job in any automobile sector or even medicines, but what has happened is there's a lot of translation jobs available in the market. Okay, now what are translations? I'll give you an example. One of the clients, he went to Germany, and there he was working in a bank. Later on, what happened is he wanted to do a rent agreement. So because he was staying there on a rental basis. So he did a rent agreement. And then after 5 years, he wanted to buy that property. Now, when he was buying that property, he wanted to do loan, which he wanted to do here in Indian bank. When he applied for the loan here in the Indian bank, the bank asked him for the rent agreement. Now, the rent agreement was in German language. Okay, so now somebody needs to be there who can translate that German language agreement into English language agreement. So this is how a basic thing I've told you. So a lot of documentation, insurance documents, vehicle documents, research papers, a lot of translation work is available in the market, wherein people can easily get those online. There are bidding websites where you can take up the projects. Okay, once you learn German language, you can take up these projects and fulfill the client requirements. That's one more thing. Another main thing which people can take advantage of is Amazon. Amazon, as everybody knows, Amazon has a lot of German clients or customers across the globe. So what Amazon has done is Amazon has taken up centers in Pune and Hyderabad where they have set up their inbound call centers. So what happens is people across the globe, if taking those who want to speak in German, they basically have bought any product through Amazon. They want if they have any queries, they go to Amazon, and then you are the person who can attend the customers. So these are a few 2-3 basic scopes of learning the German language basically.
Yeah, so yeah, thanks for explaining it, Tushil. So there is a much bigger scope actually. There is a much bigger scope. It's in fact it's there in many industries and many services which are there available across. And
Ramesh sir, this is Anil Sharma speaking. I'm a spoken English and personality development trainer. Can I ask something to him? Can I ask something to Tushil?
yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Sir, this is very good evening to you.
Good
And
evening.
actually, I'm basically an spoken English personality development soft skill trainer, and I have been training for almost 20 years. One thing I would like to ask regarding because my field English field, I would like to ask something. Many things are there. Two things that people suffer too much in India. That one, that what we call MTI problem, mother tongue influence problem, and another, how do they become good as far as accent is concerned? There should be no MTI problem. I'm not talking about especially American accent or UK accent or anything special, but I'm saying that how do they can become good as far as their accent is concerned, neutral accent I'm talking about. If you could please speak something about this also.
Okay. MTI, mother tongue influence.
Yes,
See,
yes,
when it comes MTI, T stands for tongue.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. People, those who don't use their tongues nicely, face this problem.
yes,
Okay. Now let's take a smallest example. When people from the north, like UP or Bihar people, when they pronounce my name, they say Tushil.
okay,
Okay, but those who have a good tongue influence over their communication, they say Tushil.
okay, fine,
Okay,
fine, fine.
so now mother tongue influence is all about knowing the alphabetical communication. Okay,
Okay,
using sh, using l. Like if you go to the North India, there is this alphabet called l is not there. L.
yes, 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 yes.
Yes, so that's why when this concept comes into consideration, MTI. So it's all about using our tongue. This is the simplest answer. So for that, you'll have to understand each and every language and understand the basics of the alphabets,
See,
and then the pronunciation automatically changes.
what basically my question was, see, maximum students that I'm taking care from Hindi medium, right? And see, people from Bihar, people from UP, people from MP, different states people are there, but they face one common problem. So what should I advise? See, we cannot be too much technical with them. What should I advise them? What kind of practices they should do so that they can bit overcome this problem? That basically I wanted to ask.
There's only one thing they can do is they can watch Arnab Goswami. That's the best answer.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
I'm very serious. I'm very serious. If
Okay.
anybody wants to come across mother tongue influences and voice and accent, should go and watch English news channels
English news
or
channel.
See, English movies. What happens is English movies, the accent is very difficult to understand.
Exactly, exactly,
So
exactly.
it's better everybody goes and watches English news channels, or rather, I would take Arnab Goswami's name because his English is very easy to understand.
Yes, 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 yes. He shouts too much, so we understand more.
Yes, because see, there's one more thing which you said, no, voice and accent.
Yeah, yeah.
Voice and accent, a lot of things are copied.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly,
in voice and accent, a lot of things are copied. Like for example, what we follow, what we Indians follow is the Britishers' English.
exactly, exactly.
But now what has happened is, as the Western culture has walked in, the Americans,
Yes,
they talk all wrong English.
exactly, exactly,
The grammar is not important to them. It's just the matter of communicating thing. That's it. But
exactly,
it doesn't happen like that. If you want to be good in your career profession, you have to be correct in grammar.
exactly, exactly, sir.
So if you want to improve your voice and accent, you have to see somebody who is communicating in that particular language.
Mm. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
So thanks, Tushil. Thanks for throwing light on this as well. So we'll move. So what were we talking about? So hope people. So there was something which was discussed related to the MTI and the stuff as well. So the basic thing that you need to do is that we all discuss about this particular thing to speak truth, right? So this comes from within, this comes, okay, it's sometimes very natural, and you do not need to worry so much about it, people. But the best thing, the thing that which Tushil sir has now suggested is that uh, whoever is really facing or somewhat problem which when it comes to MTIs, right, you will have to see that you watch English telecast or something like that. You keep doing it as a preparation. You keep doing it as a preparation much before you actually enter a corporate, and this thing will make a difference. So very valid point, Tushil. So we will move on. Okay, we were talking about German language. We were talking about the importance of German language, and then similarly, this language can be useful not only when it comes to German language, and the examples which you gave, the industries wherein people who are having a specific knowledge on a language can utilize it, like transcriptionist, you said one, then I highlighted something about telecom and IT. So this thing, I'm sure that this is not only restricted to German language. In fact, there can be few other languages as well, wherein people, if they learn that, would be helpful for them. And which is the particular language, or which are the few languages which would be most helpful for the people, Tushil? If you can tell us something about that, so that would be somewhat useful to the people who are listening us.
Great. See, majorly Indians, if learn these four languages, German, Japanese, French, and Spanish, and these days Chinese, there is a lot of scope for job opportunities and business opportunities across the globe. Now, when I spoke about German, let's speak about Chinese a bit. In the last 10-15 years, what has happened is Chinese products have grown on a very the production or the supply of Chinese products has been grown on a very large scale. There are two main products which we usually are connected in our day-to-day lives, that is electricals, and the number two is mobile phones. Okay, like daily household, every household, like when there's Diwali, all these lighting and all which comes in the market, all these are Chinese products. Then a lot of industrial goods are coming from China. Okay, a lot of call centers, basically what Chinese have they face a problem is they face a problem about mother tongue influence. They are not good in communicating in English. That is why a lot of projects are coming here in India. So Chinese, if learned, you have a lot of scope in working in Chinese banks, infrastructure companies, even electrical companies. So that's how the Chinese scope goes through. Number three, Japanese. All the engineers, Japanese is a very good language you can learn. You can get a lot of good scope. Like if you see Japanese basically is learned in levels, and there are scripts which you have to use to communicate in Japanese. So all the infrastructural, when we say Japanese, like bullet train. Now when it comes to implementing the project itself, there are Japanese officials coming in. There are a lot of Japanese joint ventures. There are a lot of collaborations, and Indian people need Japanese people, those who can speak Japanese. Okay. Apart from this, when it comes to automobile, Honda is a very easy example. If you can identify, Honda is a Japanese client. Okay. Apart from this, Toyota is a Japanese client. So what happens is automobile sector, like engineers can basically target this. So that's the scope about Japanese language. When it comes to French language has a lot of scope in Europe, a lot of scope. Maximum European countries, even in Canada, a lot of people speak French. It's there a very general language people speak there. And when it comes to communicating in career also, a lot of French is being used. So if somebody is learning French, when they go there, getting a job is very easy. Even if you talk about Canada, there's a separate exam called TEF, which every individual has to give, through which the visa process happens very easily, because the Canadian government wants the TEF certification. And when it comes to learning French again is learned in levels. All the languages are learned in levels. Approximately any person who starts learning from scratch, right from ABCD, takes around about a year and a half to get the expertise in the language, because every level takes 2 to 3 months to complete the whole process. So when it comes to French, even again, French basically, there are two things which French people are famous for. Number one is food. Number one is the second one is fashion. So whoever is, and even we have hotel management students across India. All those people, those who are doing hotel management, should go for French language, because there's a lot of scope in French cuisines. Even in fashion, if somebody is into garments, even designing, they should definitely learn French, because a lot of business is happening in today's globalization. So these are 4 or 5 languages which every person, whoever is doing career in any sector, if somebody is doing engineering, he should think, like if somebody is doing automobile engineering, there is a lot of scope in German language. If somebody is fascinated towards Japanese technology, engineering I'm talking about, they should learn Japanese language. Even a lot of people, those who are into chemical engineering, there is a lot of chemical work happening in the US. A lot of chemical. There are many people, those who are doing chemical engineering, go to the US to do masters. There they learn about plastics. Okay, getting like procuring, preparing all the guides and all related to the plastics and all. So there's a lot of scope in US for the French people, like people those who know how to speak French. So this is the overall scope for all the languages. Okay, so that's how it is. Yes, Ramesh.
Very rightly said, Tushil. The thing is, I personally am thinking, right, this particular session that is going, it might be already giving altogether people a different direction. That is what I was just thinking, because many people, they don't know about all these things. So I am thinking that we are adding a real good value here, Tushil. Great stuff. So we talk.
Any other question? Any other question? If you can add up, that will be
Yeah,
really nice, because if I've missed out something, I can add up.
yeah. While you were talking, while you were speaking, right, two things which I came across. Okay, one thing you spoke about, if a person wants to get a visa, you spoke about if a person wants to get a visa in Canada, then probably one particular language would help them in doing that. Are there any other few aspects, few related languages as well, wherein a person can do, and a student which basically which can be helpful to a person applying for visas, or a person who is a student or something like that? These were the two things which, if you can just throw much more light on, then probably that would be helpful.
The question is small, but then the answer is very big and vast. It depends which country that candidate is planning to. Okay, like I took an example about Canada. Okay, but it all depends. Like for example, if you talk about German language in Germany, a lot of there are the government there tries to teach the basics of the German language free of cost to whoever wants. Okay, so it all depends upon that particular candidate who is willing to go to which nation. Now major chunk in India, like students or even the business and business people, they go to US on a maximum note. So in US there is no requirement as such, but yes, IELTS is required many a times when they go for the visa interviews and all. So IELTS is required on a large scale when people have found it out. So it all depends upon who wants to go to which nation. But there are very few nations, those who have compulsions about languages. Let me tell you very frankly, there are very few nations, those who have compulsions. It's not a compulsion. It is an additional advantage to your to getting a visa process done very easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks, Tushil. That clarifies. So people, right? There are many people, or there are many students who specifically plans to do something and have their plan set. For example, going to a particular country to do some, maybe in a particular country. So if it would be useful for these particular students as well, wherein they can see which language can be useful to for them as well. So this language basically, it has a much bigger scope, right from the students. And right from the professionals, it gives them and basically an upper hand, and prepare themselves much before for the opportunity, much before it comes. So it is something a good learning, and people, you need to look that. If you want, you can have a look at this particular video once again, people. Okay, And anything else coming in your mind, Tushil, that probably you might have missed or probably you would want to hire when it comes to language or something like that? Well, one thing, okay, it's coming in my mind, okay.
Yeah.
So are we talking about, are we also talking about regional languages, or how is it?
Yeah. See, Language School basically is a departmental store for languages. Simple as that. Whichever language you want, you come to us. That's what the motto which we have kept in this. There are a lot of people here. We have those who are learning Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, Sanskrit. Even people are learning Marathi as well. So all the regional languages are also being. I mean, that's what we deal in regional languages also. Even Arabic is a very these days Arabic has got a very good scope. A lot of people, those who go towards these I mean those who go to fly across Dubai and all, so Arabic countries basically, so they look for Arabic language. So that's a new trend which has come up in the market.
True. So basically, a person who is actually planning to do something can add this particular stuff known as learning a particular language as well. So that is what it is going to be, and that is what how fruitful learning different languages can be. So people,
See, one thing I'll add up here.
okay,
See, languages is not only about grammar. Okay, when it comes to learning a language, you don't just learn the grammar part of it. You learn the culture. You get to understand the people. You get to understand those various verticals of your own understanding. Like when you try to learn Japanese language is a very different language. The alphabets itself, they are not alphabets, basically they are scripts which they call. So it is not only the grammar, it's the complete culture which comes along with the language. Like when you talk about like when we talk about Hindi itself, when you start learning Hindi, there is a lot of thing which you explore within yourself. There's an indirect growth in your personality which happens. Your mindset changes, the way you look towards things changes, a lot of things change in your life. So languages don't only give you an additional advantage of learning grammar of a new source, but then they give an enhancement in your personality also. That's it.
yeah, that's so right. So people, I'm sure that you might have been glued to the videos as of now, but don't worry if you have missed some important section. So this videos will be there. This videos will be there. We will share it as and when we feel the need of sharing it in the different groups. So we will keep doing it as well. And thank you for the time, Tushil. Thank you for giving us a valuable time and guiding the people with this. Yeah, carry on.
Anybody else would like to ask any question? If I have left out something, any question, if somebody wants to ask, if you can ask people.
Hey, guys, if you have any specific question related to languages, you can just feel free to raise it. Guys, there are a good number of people. So if there is really, right, so much value has been currently added, people, okay? There are chances that a slight question, if you ask from your end, maybe someone else would also get an answer of that. So see if there is any question, raise it, feel free to raise it, or else we will wrap up the session. We covered it all. Okay, we covered how it can be used in profession, how it can be used for students, then at work how it can be helpful, what are the skills. Then we also covered how it can be used or learn different cultures. We covered it, we broadly covered many things, people. But if still there is anything, you can ask, or else we will wind it up in half a minute, people. I think that's it, Tushila.
A
So
lot of
you covered many things actually. You covered very much in depth actually. So it might have already answered the questions which were also people might have been about to ask. So it was a good thing. It was a good thing, and it was really good thing.
one thing which has come up in my mind when you were speaking now. Every language has a different prospect. and the learning path. Many people, like whoever knows I we have this language school and all, they come and ask me that I am not good in English, can I learn Japanese? Like somebody, the day before yesterday, somebody asked me, I am not good in English, can I learn German? Every language is altogether a different chapter. There is no connectivity. Okay, like there might be a few, like for example, when it comes to German language, the alphabets are same, but the pronunciation is different. Okay, like A becomes A, B becomes Be, C becomes Se. So like likewise in other languages also. But anybody can learn any language at any point of time. So people, those who feel that if I'm not good in English, can I learn Japanese? Can I learn German? Can I learn French? Yes, you can, because you have to start right from the scratch, right from the basic alphabets. So if there is a misconception in people's mind, they can clear this up.
Good point, Tushil. Good point. Good point. So people hope. Okay, one more thing. Okay, if in case, okay, I will be sharing this particular video step by step in the different groups as and when I feel that it would help them. Okay.
Okay.
I will be pasting a link there. Probably if in case you have any queries or any questions related to languages or something, you can let us know. I will route it through Tushil and we will probably get it addressed. So that is how the value of the session increases furthermore. So
Definitely.
yeah. So thank you, team. Thank you, Tushil, once again, and the entire team who is there. Thanks for joining us. And the people who are
Thank you,
watching.
Amit.
Hey, welcome, welcome. And the
Thank
people
you.
who are, yeah, and the people who are watching, we will hope you see this particular session. If required, go through it once again, and let's make the maximum utilization of the information that is provided here. And let's see, we will catch up somewhere later with the next video. And thank you, Tushil and team, for adding so much of value today. Thank you. Take care.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Have a
Yeah.
good night. Yeah.
You too. You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye.